What's up, bro? How you doing? What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
You can hear me all right, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I bet.
Just waiting on a couple people.
Yeah, no, you're good. Take your time.
What's up, Frankie? How you doing?
Oh, snap.
All right. What's up, Z?
Yo. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Let me
Awesome.
change the
Hey.
He got the backdrop.
Nice background.
Yeah, had to switch it
I'm
up.
crying.
All right. If y'all ready, you're ready.
Yeah, we're good. I'm good.
All right, cool. So I'm Sam, also known as Sam the Seuss.
I'm Zion No Line on the socials.
I'm Frankie, also known as Frankie Sassmaster.
Actually,
I'm Mike.
My
and
bad.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Let me click the record button on Anchor quick.
How you good?
Or I can just like plug it in. Hold on. Okay. Give me a second. All right, I'm Sam, also known as Sam the Seuss.
I'm Zion No Lion.
I'm Frankie, aka Frankie Sassmaster.
And what's up, guys? My name's Mike. I'm also known as Young Gelo.
Gang. This is the Creators Club.
Very nice to have our first guest on.
Yes, very
Appreciate
exciting.
it. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Of course.
Of course. Thank you for being on.
Yeah.
So I think you said you're from the DMV originally?
Yeah, I was originally from Ohio, and then I moved to Baltimore when I was like 6. I lived there all the way through high school.
Cool.
Yep.
So at what like age did you like get into producing? Like how long have you been doing
So I've only been a producer for about a little over a year. I started last summer, but I've been listening to music and I've been wanting to get into it for like, I would say probably 5 years.
All right, got you. I mean, I wouldn't even know because I feel like your production, like it's mad impressive.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So who are my bad? Who are your like top like 5 producers or like? Would you say?
I would say right now, like of all time or like right now.
You can do it like of all time and then like
All
as
time.
of now.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd say number 1 for sure is Kanye.
Cool,
He just revolutionized the way the production was, in my opinion. With like, he was like the first guy who made sampling super popular and brought it into the mainstream. Other than him, I really like Metro and Wheezy. I think they have, a large influence on my sound, especially my newer beats. And then the last 2 are probably Southside and Pierre Bourne.
Definitely agree. PR,
Nice.
Pierre, definitely. That list is definitely 1 point.
Very nice. When you first started making beats, were you like just making them in your house, or did somebody like ask you for beats, or how did that start?
So it all started with I was originally only gonna make beats for like one guy, Real AF. I was only gonna make beats for him because
Dope
him
artist,
and I, yeah, he's
Yeah.
awesome. Him and I went to high school together, and so like we grew up, we were talking about music all the time in our free periods and stuff, and he started rapping in college, and it was around that time that I started getting into producing, and I was like, yo, like let me produce some shit for your next album. And then it was supposed to be like that, and I was done. And then it kind of just evolved after that, and I started getting into it, and I started really enjoying it. So
That's dope.
Yeah.
that's kind of how it worked. But I mean, that's how I started. I was literally only making them on like my laptop, and I didn't even have any sort of DAW. I started making beats on Audition with like sound samples, and I would just like place them on the tempo,
That's impressive.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because I remember like I guess like on your live like last week I was like sitting there listening to like the samples that you're pulling or whatever, and like I think you like was it like Kanye that you sampled on one of the songs?
Oh, are you talking about the I Wonder one?
The I Wonder one? Yeah.
Yeah. That's the same song as that Kanye samples on I Wonder.
So that's cool.
Cool. So, how did you meet? Do you like normally network online as far as meeting other people, or do you just sell beats like through social media?
Yeah, I mean, I spend a lot of time on Instagram, and I'll just like I'll search tags and stuff, and reach out to artists that way. That's kind of how recently, especially with like COVID and stuff, that's how I've been trying to branch out. But I mean, my main networking was through Real AF and like our extended network, and then once I came to Ohio for school, through school, I actually got blessed with some opportunities for artists in school um, around that area. So that kind of grew my network as well. Like Low Glizzy,
Oh,
shout out Low Glizzy, he's a beast.
Hey.
But yeah,
So was music production what you were studying in college, or were you studying something else?
nah, not even close. I'm a business major, so
Got
I'm
you,
like,
got you.
yeah, it's completely. It started as a
Yeah,
hobby, and for the most part, it still is a hobby. I'm taking it seriously now, though. But it's still something that like I want to finish college. I want to get my degree,
of course,
and
yeah,
stuff like that.
definitely.
And I'm trying to treat this as like, at least for now, I'm trying to treat it as like a second source of income for myself.
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
if I'm lucky enough to get any deals or anything like that, then we'll reconsider. But at this point, that's kind of my mindset for it.
Yeah, definitely. Got
definitely.
a residual income is very important.
Yeah.
Hey, get them checks as you can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have like a specific creative process for how you go about like making your beats, or like I think I saw in your bio you also like are a lyricist, I think, if I'm
Yeah,
correct. You like
yeah.
write songs.
I've got some writing credits.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question for me because like it, the short answer is it depends on like the day. Like
Mm-hmm.
some days I'll wake up and I'll have like, I'll have like specific artists that I'm supposed to get a pack to. So like that, in my opinion, that constricts like the way that my workflow is approached that day because I'm only listening for certain types of melodies and I'm only listening for certain sounds for them and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know, my favorite days are like I just wake up and I go through like I got loop packs, I got sounds that I want to incorporate and stuff, and I just find them, and from there it kind of just builds out that way. Um, I would say it's like my normal workflow. I like find something that I want to work on, and then I'll drop it in FL real quick, and then I always start with. I have like a funny workflow when I get in because like most producers will like do they'll after they do the melody they'll usually do like the 808 pattern or like they'll get like the claps down or something like that to I guess like that's like the next biggest part of the song. But for me,
Mm-hmm.
I always like to start with the hi-hats and the claps and I do the 808s last.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because like I ran into issues early on in my career where like I'd make the 808s too busy and then when it came to making the hats and the claps like it just wasn't making sense. So I kind of retooled the way I look at it. um so I do hats and claps first now and then I finish up with the 808s and then I go back in and I do like extra perks and stuff like that.
How long does it like normally take you to like make a beat from scratch?
um it depends, like if it's a beat for an album, like if it's specifically for an artist or something like that, um I'll spend time on it. Like it'll usually take me like hour and a half.
Okay.
Like I was making a beat for like I sent a little key the other day. That one took me like almost 2 hours just because like I was like super strict with myself and like I wanted it to sound perfect.
Yeah.
Um, if I'm just like cooking up or like especially for whatever reason I can cook up Pierre beats like super fast. Like I don't know if y'all have heard the album that I put out on my Spotify, but all the beats on that were like collectively made in a day.
Wow.
Wow.
That's impressive work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can knock those out in like 10 minutes. Like Pierre beats are like 10 minutes for me.
Okay. Do you play any instruments yourself, or
Nah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like,
Okay.
but producing in itself is basically like playing an instrument. So, like,
Yeah, no, I
learning
didn't know if he
somebody.
had like any
Yeah.
specific instruments that he incorporated, into his,
Yeah.
into his work.
nah, nope. I'm. It's funny too, because like everybody that knows me knows that like as a kid I was like the most non-talented, non-interested person in like music class. Like
Yeah.
I had like I was like, nah, like forget this stuff. Like I'm gonna be a business major. I'm gonna do math shit, stuff like that. Um, but like having said that, like I always did have like a love for like listening to music and stuff.
Mhm.
And I guess it just got to a point where I was like, I think it was like one day I was listening to I think it was like a Little Baby song. I want to say I think it was Pure Cocaine, if you guys know what song that is.
Yeah.
If it was off his album Street Gossip in 18, I think. But like I was listening to that, and that was the song that just made me sit and think. And I was like, dude, I can do this. I was like, I think I can make this. So then I just like said fuck it, and I started making it and shit. So.
Yeah. That's how it starts. Yeah. Are there like any like specific artists that you want to like produce for? Like your top?
Like big artists would definitely be. I'd love to be on like a Trippie Redd song for sure. Because I really mess with him.
Yeah. He
I
sounds.
would love, man. I mean, like I think like Young Thug is somebody who's like super
Yeah.
dope to work with, just because he's so unique and stuff.
Yeah. He's definitely built a sound.
And but I think like the biggest one that I don't think I'd ever be able to accomplish would be to like get like co-producing credits with like Kanye. Like that
Yeah.
would be super dope to me. Is like whether I'm chopping up the sample for him or like
Yeah.
I'm adding the drums to it or whatever. Like that would be dream come true for me.
That's a lit.
Would you consider yourself like a hip hop producer? Or do you see yourself going in like other directions at any point?
I mean, ever since I started, like I've made like hella different beats. Like I've got like rock rap type beats. I've got trap metal beats that I've made. I have really the only thing I haven't made is like a pop beat. But I mean, I'd say like for right now, in terms of producing, I definitely enjoy sticking within like hip hop and stuff. Just because like I think that for me, that's like such a within itself, it's such a wide range of different things you can do as a hip hop producer.
Definitely. Yeah,
That
definitely.
like for now, I'm
Mhm.
just gonna try to stick in there and see how successful I can be there. But I mean, I could definitely see myself in the future. If an artist hits me up and stuff, because that's usually how it works. Like I don't. This might sound like uncreative, but I usually don't branch out and make like a different kind of beat unless somebody comes to me and they're like, "Yo, can you make this kind of beat?"
Like a custom. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I'll be like, "Yeah," and then usually I'll find that like I can do it kind of well, and then I'm like, "All right, then I'll add this to like my arsenal moving forward."
Nice.
Would
That's
you
a,
say that there's
yeah.
something like with your sound that sticks out? Like, because I know like producers like Pharrell, like, you put on a Pharrell song, like a Pharrell beat, and like, that's Pharrell. Like, are there like specific sounds or something that you incorporate into your beats that it's kind of like makes it unique? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, for
that
sure.
you
I mean,
feel.
I think I think you can it's my beat by the drums and the arrangement. Everybody that I've ever worked with tells me that, you know, um, like my drums are what make me special as a producer, and my arrangement is what shows people that like I know music. Cause like you'll see a lot of like producers out there, and I'm not like trying to say anything bad on producers or anything, but a lot of people that like, cause like it is like at the end of the day, it's just a money making opportunity for some people, and like that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you don't understand how to arrange a beat, then no artist is gonna want to use it. So like that's the one thing that I've always heard is good about my beats is that when an artist hears it, like they know exactly where they're supposed to do what. Because it's just
Ooh,
kind of like a
interesting.
song, and they just got to add their vocals to it.
Okay.
Right. I think it was interesting that you said, I think pretty much your main influence you said was Kanye, right?
Hmm.
So I think he was an interesting case, like the way he kind of pushed producers to the forefront, and now we're actually able to name like 5, 10 different producers. So I think it's like really a great time to come up as a producer and not just like you don't have to rap in order to make it in the music industry.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with that because, like Kanye is, I think you're completely right. Like he was the guy that before Kanye, like you didn't really know who was producing beats. It was just like people who were signed to the label and they were like, kind of like just like workers.
Right.
They got their credits, but like you never really cared. And then like I think like two main things. Kanye first, like I think he was the first guy that transitioned from being a producer to a rapper, and then he brought his beats with him as an artist. So like I think that kind of said like we should pay attention to producers more. And then I
Right.
think the first, I always get this wrong, but whoever was the first guy to use a tag, I think it was somebody just said it recently. It was like Sunny Digital or something like that. The first
Oh, okay.
producer to use like a tag, in my opinion, also like completely changed how people view producers because like now like everything's tagged and now everything's like, you know, there's like an identity and a brand with a producer as opposed to just like somebody who's making your beat.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. The tags are I saw on your Instagram that you had you said you have a lot of tags.
I do. I'm like, I have like an affinity to all my tags because each tag, like most of my tags I thought up myself. And like the early ones I even recorded myself. So like I don't like getting rid of tags. I always like having a bunch of tags. Like most producers have like 1 or 2 tags so that it's like super uh familiar for people.
Right.
And like I like using different tags because each tag has like a vibe kind of
Yeah.
that like it fits. So that's why I like using different tags. But yeah, I got like dead ass, I got like 8 tags.
The more the merrier, right?
Yeah, I got too many.
Is your family fairly supportive of you like producing and making beats? Like, are they pretty supportive people with that?
I mean, I would hope so. They haven't thrown me out of the house yet with my speakers banging all day. So
That's good.
I
Yeah.
think that's a good sign. But nah, they're pretty supportive. My mom's not a huge fan of hip hop music in general. But my dad's a pretty dope guy when it comes to that kind of stuff, and my mom's very supportive of anything I do. So
That's
I'm
very
lucky
good.
to have that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
You know, supportive families.
Yeah, we do.
So, where do you see yourself in like 5 years?
Man, I don't know. Hopefully,
It's like a crazy question. Yeah.
hopefully, hopefully, I mean, best case scenario, I'm signed somewhere. That'd be dope. Like maybe like a quality control or like a something like that.
Internet, like an internet money or like.
Yeah, something like
Gotcha.
that. Like either like my two like main areas of interest when it comes to music and my influences, which I'm sure you guys can get from like Kanye and then all of the Atlanta
Yeah.
guys I named. They're like Chicago and Atlanta. So those kind of places I could see myself in. Um, I mean, hopefully signed, but if not, just continuing to plug away and building artists up and stuff. I like doing that. I like finding local artists and working with them too,
Yeah.
and almost becoming like their exclusive producer
Yeah.
for a
Definitely.
while. That's because that's how it started out for me. So I like doing that. But yeah, I don't know. That's a hard question, man. Because 5 years from now, that could be.
Yeah. Like,
It's a hard question.
What year are you in school?
So I'm a junior in college. I'm 20. I'm about to be 21 in like 5 months.
okay.
So I started pretty late because like a lot of like a lot of these producers starting when they're like 13, 14 and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's all right.
You're killing it for someone
Yeah,
who
I
just
mean,
started like a
yeah.
year ago. Like you're killing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I've forced myself to, pick up the pace kind of, because like I know I'm behind the eight ball already in terms of like age and stuff, and like most labels look at like high school kids because that's when like they can
Yeah.
keep them for like 10 years and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to
Lock them in the
gotta
contracts.
work hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So what have you been listening to as of lately? Like,
lately, I mean, I listened to Playboi Carti's new album. I listened to Kid Cudi's new album.
Did
yeah,
you like did you like Playboys? Because I've heard a lot of mixed reviews
yeah, I
regarding
heard a lot of
that.
Yeah.
So
Same.
yeah, here I'll give you guys some like bulletin board material for your podcast here.
yeah.
You guys can start catching some heads if you want. But I'm one of the few that actually like really enjoyed it. And I consider myself like a pretty heavy Cardi fan.
Okay.
And I think the reason why a lot of people don't like it is just because like I don't know if you guys are like Uzi fans at all, but like when he dropped Eternal Take, damn, um, like everybody didn't like it at first because like the wait was so long and none of the snippets were on there. So like everybody
Right.
was like they were expecting to
Yeah.
hear like all the songs that blew up on like Spinrilla and stuff like that and SoundCloud. So I think that's the same thing with Cardi in the sense that like he completely reinvented his sound with this project. Like he went total punk and like crazy. And a lot of people that haven't been paying attention to him since Dial It think that that's like super different, and they don't like it. But I mean, I'm here for it. It was super dope. I loved it. It was the production, which like I always pay attention to. Obviously, was super fire. And I think he did a pretty good job. And I think people will come around to it after a while, like they did with these other projects.
Yeah, I think you have to listen to it a couple times. The
Yeah.
production is definitely crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I've been listening to like I always run like old Kanye like all the time. Kanye, Nas. I'm like a huge East Coast in terms of like the New York scene for me is like big. So like Jay-Z, A$AP Rocky, like Biggie, those kind of
Yeah.
guys. Like
Yeah.
I run those guys all the time. Dave East.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's highly underrated.
Yeah, I love Dave East. But yeah, I mean, it's basically those kind of guys. Like, and then if I want to listen to hype stuff, it's like Atlanta sound stuff like that. So like your Gunnas, your Babies, your Thugs, stuff like that.
What would you say are your top 3 Kanye songs?
Okay,
Your
so
top 3 faves?
my favorite, hands down, is Jesus Walks. I love that song. I just think because it has like such a cool story to it and stuff as well. Like I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that, but
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's pretty
That's
dope.
probably my favorite
Yeah.
Kanye song as well, actually.
Yeah, like I really like that.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like 2 and 3, that's where it gets hard because he's got so many good songs.
Yeah.
I'd probably say I'd put Blood on the Leaves up there,
I like that one.
and I'd put oh shit, there's one from My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I'm forgetting right now. Devil in a New Dress for sure.
Okay.
Oh, right.
The Rick Ross verse on that's fire.
Man of taste.
We love to see it.
Appreciate that. But yeah, that was a hard question for me because I got like I think I have like 90 Kanye songs in my playlist. So
Hey.
like yeah, it's a tough question for me for sure.
Are there any like specific albums that you're looking forward to this year?
This year, I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing J. Cole drop in the Fall Off. I think that's gonna be super dope.
Yeah.
I want to see if we get any more like Trap Cole before he retires, because like I was here for that as well. And then I'm also looking forward to Young Thug's next album. And I mean, definitely like Kendrick and Kanye's next albums. You know, those have been like rumored. Um, I've fallen off on Drake.
Yeah.
Real AF's gonna kill me when he hears this, but yeah, I mean I've fallen off on Drake. He knows it though. But I haven't been the best Drake fans, or the biggest Drake fan since like 2014.
I
Probably
got
the
you.
last year. I was like huge fan of him,
Yeah.
but that's probably who I'm looking forward to. the
How do
most.
you? Oh my bad. How do you feel about like Kanye's transition to like gospel?
So like, I mean, I definitely enjoyed it more than probably most people. Like I know when he dropped Jesus is King, a lot of people were super angry and stuff. And then like he
Yeah.
followed it up by saying he's like never gonna make, you know, songs with like cuss words in them again.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think like that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But I mean, I think Kanye like Kanye's production has always been like top tier to me. So like for me, you know, he can do whatever he wants as long as the production stays that good. Like I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I'm always disappointed though that like you're not gonna get like another
Yeah,
graduation or
another classic.
yeah. I mean
Yeah.
at this point it feels like it's out of reach, but you never know with him. Maybe this divorce with Kim.
Yeah, I was
Oh
about
my
to talk
god.
about
Oh my,
that.
my
Allegedly, I'm just
god.
like, bruh.
It sounds
Yeah.
like it's real.
It's
I
about
don't even think it's
time.
allegedly anymore.
I don't
Did
think
you
it's
say it's about
allegedly. It's
time?
about. I'm sorry. Hey. Did you not see the tweets in 2020? Like
Chris
he was
Jong Un.
wilding on
Oh my
Twitter.
god.
Hey,
Chris
but listen
Jong-un,
though.
yeah.
But listen though, you got to give the man's respect for, that was a record. That was a record for
Yes, yeah.
anyone being with the Kardashians. So
No, it
Oh,
really
yeah.
was though. It really was. It's been what, 6 years? 6 years?
yeah, it
Yeah, it's
was
been a while.
2012, I think.
yeah.
2012 is when they got married.
2012 is
I
when they
want to say.
dated, or
Yeah.
2014 is when they got married.
Yeah. So
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
he's been through
Been a
a
minute.
lot. Right? That's a tough family to be a
That
part of.
yeah.
It's
Who
a
you
lot
tell
of
it, bro?
energy, a lot of stuff that
Yeah,
it takes. So I don't know.
publicity.
I think he did a pretty good job, and Kim was really supportive of his career. But sometimes
Yeah,
I guess this is a horrible thing to say, but sometimes like artists need they need pain and stuff to do their best work. So
nah, you definitely,
hopefully we
definitely.
get something
Yeah.
good from him.
Hope he takes care of himself in the process. Like,
Definitely.
so what is your favorite collab or artist you've produced for so far?
Oh man, that's hard. That's hard. I mean, I always hold Real AF in a different light. I feel like because for him, like it wasn't more like a collab. It was kind of like we came up together. Like we started making music at the same time, and like
Yeah,
for a while, like we were the only other person that we relied on for stuff. Um, so like he's definitely always like a default option for me. But like if you take that like given answer away, I'd probably say Low Glizzy. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys are hip to him, but if you like, like Polo G and like Gunna type stuff,
yeah.
he's fire. He's out of Columbus.
Or,
He's got a wide variety of stuff, and we got like a bunch of stuff coming. So he's fire. I'd probably say him.
I think like when you're on live, you tease like some joint project that Real AF is working on or something like that you're producing on.
Yeah, he's coming out with his album pretty soon. It's gonna be like I think it's 10 songs, and I'm on 3 of them. I produced 3
Okay,
of them.
cool.
So, yeah. So and then he's got more stuff coming this year that we got. I think I've sent him like 50 beats, so he's just working his way through them all. So
It's impressive.
yeah.
Do you ever see yourself being on a track vocally, like even if it's just background vocals or?
Like Calvin Harris.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Man, that's funny because everybody like people always told me when I started producing, they were like, "Oh, like are you an artist too?" And like a lot of people that haven't met me yet, like they'll think because I have like an album out on Spotify, they think that I'm an artist too. And it's like, and like I even remember too, one person asked me, they're like, "Are you an artist?" And I was like, "Nah." And they're like, "But you're a producer, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Give it time, you're gonna start rapping." And I was like, "I don't know." Like I don't ever think I'll get there, just because like one thing that like I've always told the artists that I work with, and like even as a listener before I started making music, that's like super important if you're a rapper, is like your voice. You know, like you have to have a unique voice, and you have to have like a quality to your voice that people want to listen to, because
Yeah.
it's not as like melodic usually as like pop and stuff. And I just don't think I have that voice. So that's why I tell people, I'm like, I'm more than happy to help you write stuff. I'm more than happy to make a beat for you, but I don't think I'll ever lend vocals to stuff. I've done like I said earlier, I've done tags for myself, and I've done like intros and outros to things, but I've always like pitched my voice, so it's like like you don't know it's mine. Just because like I don't think that my voice really fits. But so yeah, I guess to answer your question, no, I don't think I will.
No, that's understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So you have any goals for 2021?
Yeah, 2021. I'm hoping, first and foremost, I'm trying to get a placement with a major artist. So I've been sending stuff out like crazy to major artists ever since the year started. And then the other goal I would say is to just like, I gave myself a goal on Twitter the other day. It was like, I saw a producer that I'm friends with. He did like an end of 2020 playlist with like all of his placements, like local artists, big artists, everything on like a Spotify playlist, and then attached it to his profile. And I'd say like, I guess my main goal for 2021 is just to get to that point by the end of the year, like get enough placements with all levels of artists to the point where I can make like my own playlist.
That's a solid goal. So yeah.
So yeah,
definitely.
it's been hard, but we're getting there, hopefully.
Yeah.
What's your method for sending beats to major artists? Like your approach?
Yeah, sure. So like basically what I do is I will put them in like probably three songs in a pack. I use, or three beats in a pack. I never send more than three unless it's somebody that like I'm either working with on an album, or somebody that I already know personally. Because
Okay.
I don't like my beats just like laying out there and not knowing what's happening to them. So usually what I do is I find like three beats that fit that sound, and I usually, the other thing I do is I try not to like make the beats too comfortable for the artist, because like I've found that a lot of artists, and like I haven't gotten a big placement yet, but like I've noticed just listening to artists that, you know, even when they stay relatively similar in their sound, they like to incorporate like new stuff. So, you know, I'm sure they get hella beats a day that are from producers that are essentially like copycats of like their hits. And they don't want to remake a hit, you know, they want to make something new. So
Yeah.
like I always try to give them at least a little bit different, or like incorporate different parts of different songs that they've already done together into a beat, just so it's like a little bit more unique. Um, and that's why I keep it to like three beats as well, so it's not overbearing and stuff.
Got you.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Do you feel like with like quarantine being a thing, do you think that that's helped you in a positive way as far as creating your beats, because you feel like you have more time to like dedicate to the craft?
For sure, definitely. I mean, I think the biggest thing for me prior to quarantine was like I always struggled with distractions. You know, like I love playing video games. I have a girlfriend, and like, and I obviously have school and stuff too. So, like my life was pretty busy. And then when quarantine happened, you know, everything kind of like slowed down. My classes went on to online, so I had like a lot more free time, and that really pushed me. So yeah, definitely. Like I have so much more free time now. Even nowadays, like it's completely revolutionized my day. in terms of beat making.
Like an estimate, do you know like roughly how many beats you have or songs you have?
Yeah, let's see. I mean, I think roughly, all in all, since I started making beats, I've probably made like over 500 beats,
Wow.
like including
Oh.
ones that like,
Wow, that's impressive, yeah.
but that's like, but like, to be fair though, that's including ones that, you know, I scrapped halfway through. Like ones that
Okay.
I've finished
Yeah.
completely, probably like 300, 400. Because I'm
Mhm.
pretty picky. Like if a beat can make it through the first like 10 minutes of me making it, then like I'm gonna keep it. But if I can't get through like 10 minutes of even just like something simple and it's giving me a hassle, like I just like get rid of it. I'm just like, nah. Because like my mentality there is like if I can't find something to make this sound like a good beat in 10 minutes, like what's gonna make an artist think that they want to rap on it in like 20 when they hear it, like 20 seconds. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the way I view it. But yeah, I'd say probably like 300, 400 beats this year already though. In like 10 days, I've made, let's see, I've made like 50, I think, already this year.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I've made 47 this year
Wow.
already.
Yeah.
Wow.
How many
Yeah.
That's
beats?
crazy.
Yeah, my bad. How many beats on average do you make a day? Like,
If I have nothing going on that day and I'm just trying to make beats all day, I could do probably 10 a day pretty consistently.
okay.
But like most days I'm doing some sort of either like engineering or leveling work for an artist or like networking as well. So I usually probably do like 4 to 5 beats a day.
It's good. Solid.
Yeah.
Do you sample a lot on the beats that you create? Like, are you really big into sampling or not so much?
So like the beats that I make, so like I'm working on a project right now with Real AF and another Maryland rapper called Gumpy, and like all of the beats on those use like samples. So all of those, it's like a requirement essentially that I'm like giving myself.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, like I'll use like when I'm doing my like Southside like 808 Mafia stuff, I get a lot of sample packs from people that have samples in them, but not like your typical kind of samples,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Just kind of like instrument like one or two instrument samples from like really old songs and like, you know, ancient
I
kind of
got
loops
you.
kind of things.
Yeah.
But like you're more like Kanye, Tyler the Creator type sampling, I'd say is probably like 10 to 20% of the beats I make.
Okay.
Just because it's like those I want to make like really well and I want them to be really
Yeah.
good and unique. So like I'm very picky about the samples.
That makes sense. Do you ever run into issues like with clearing or like getting them cleared, or is it fair use?
So this is interesting. This is an interesting topic. So when I first started producing, I was like super worried because like, you know, as a listener, you hear all these like issues with like, oh, so and so, you know, is getting sued, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like so when I first started producing, I was like super careful not to put anything that had samples on it on Spotify, or I wouldn't even put shit on SoundCloud that had samples on it. I was like super worried. I was like, they're gonna come knock on my door and tell me like I owe them like $50,000. But like
Yeah.
the reality is like the people who blew up and got in trouble for it, you know, it's always like back royalties. So like what that means to me is that like they're not gonna come after you unless like you make money for them to be worth to come after you for. So like if I sample a track and it blows me up and like that's how I get blown up, I'm like more than happy to get a slap on the wrist for like using a sample.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I haven't cleared it. Because basically like the simple truth is like clearing samples if you're a producer right now, before they're sold to an artist, before they're put on, before they have any clearance issues, is like a waste of your time and money. because like you don't know what's gonna happen to that beat. Like somebody like me, you know, like if it was Kanye, you know, making a beat, like yeah, they gotta sample it and clear it first.
Yeah.
It's like they're part of a label and like all that stuff. But like
Mm-hmm.
for me, like nah, I don't care. Like I'll make it, I'll put it out.
Yeah.
To me, it's like if I get in trouble for it, that means that I'm like doing something right. Because like enough
Right.
people are
Oh.
listening to it that you know they got issues. So
Yeah.
like if I make like you know $8 million off a song and I got to pay like 4 million out, that's cool. Like I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, that was something I always wondered about as far as sampling wise. Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting because like when you start, like the conception is that you know you want to be as clean as possible and like not get in trouble and stuff. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
the simple truth is that like they don't pay attention to people like us unless like you know they have a reason to. So
Start
Yeah.
racking up that money, then yeah.
yeah,
Now we want it. Yeah.
yeah, then
Right,
they'll come
yeah.
knocking real fast.
So much stuff has happened this week, though. Like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Capitol, storming buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely crazy for us being so close to it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely.
It's wild, man. It's wild times.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? How many days are we into 2021? Like we
Like 10,
we
10
really
days
thought
in,
we
yo, 10 days in.
like we just got here, and this preview, I don't like it.
I don't at all. Like,
Oh man.
we were really like, let's jump ahead. 2021, just like, bruh, I'm already over
Starting with a
it.
bang. Yeah.
Yo.
Literally. Man.
This is this is a weird question, I guess, but how did we link up with Young Gelo, Sam?
So I think I believe I found out from you from like I think Steven, because Steven directed one of Real AF's videos or whatever. So I think I hit you up or something like that, or you might have DM'd me about like the talent showcase. I think because we were talking about it.
Yeah, I did.
I sent it to
Yeah.
you. Yeah, so that's how.
Yeah, Zion, the answer to your question is basically it's through Real AF because he was the one who reached out to me and told me about nostalgia.
Yeah,
Was like, yo,
Hey.
because he was like, he explained to me that Steven was like working on something with you guys, and he's also like, you know, active with y'all. So
Steven's the
then,
goat,
yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of how I got introduced to you guys.
yeah.
And then,
And so I've been the one like DMing you from the label account. By the
Mhm.
way, yeah.
Yeah.
Now you see the face, man. Yeah.
all right, bet.
Nice, very cool. I like the
Yeah.
connection, the interstates between
Yeah.
states. I mean, cool.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we've really made a lot of connections
Yeah, we
through the
have, man.
label, and it's
Yeah.
just like everybody knows somebody who does something different, which is something
Yeah.
that like we could utilize for the label, which is very
Definitely.
interesting.
We definitely like got to get you produce a song with like one of our artists. I feel like you guys are
Definitely.
a good fit.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always open to like a lot of producers that I work with. You know, they always tell people like they're busy and stuff like that, and I'm not like that. So like I'm always like it doesn't matter how busy I am, and I think it's part of my personality too. Like, I always
Yeah.
take on more work than I usually have time for. But
Very approachable.
Yeah.
I'm always open to work, and I'm always gonna get it done too. So definitely always down to work with new people, expand my network, stuff like that.
Definitely.
Cool.
So, is your family still like in the DMV, or are you all in Ohio now? I know you're for college, but
Yeah, nah. So my parents moved back to Ohio after the first year I was in college. So the only connections I have to the DMV are through music stuff, and my girlfriend still lives there, so I'm back there a fair amount to see her.
Oh, cool.
That's
Cool.
dope.
Yeah.
Dope. Wow, whenever you're here, like you gotta link up or something like that.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
I should be spending most of my summer there, so
That
come in the summer.
Nice. Big bets.
One other guy you guys should check out too is my boy Hyde Taylor. I don't know if Reels told you guys about him, but he's fire. He's a producer and artist. He's like Young Thug 2.0.
All right, bet. Send
I mean,
him.
like-
You gotta send him my
Yeah.
way. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're always down to listen to new people.
Yo.
Nah, he's a beast. He's
Definitely.
very good. I got a project with him coming out this year too, I think.
All right.
But he's awesome. He's super dope.
Bet.
Very unique artist.
Very nice.
Doing like what you do with the producing, would you say that you've kind of found yourself like, because I know that, in the world of music, it's a very competitive place. So do you think that you've found yourself being able to interact with like more people that, you want to see each other win versus the people that are kind of like, nah, like I don't want to help you, because I'm trying to, be the one to make it, to the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty from the get-go. I've always been like it's been very important to me. Jeez, I can't talk. It's always been very important to me since the beginning that like I work with people who like I have like a connection to. Like it was always like I never liked the concept of like just selling beats to random people and then never hearing back from them and like not getting an opportunity to like promote their project because you're the producer or anything like that. So I've always tried to like reach out to artists and like do it that way as opposed to like, if somebody buys a beat from my BeatStars, I'll like reach out to them and be like, yo, like let me know what you put down on this. Like I'd love to help you promote it and like if
Having
you
that
work
one
That's really
something like
good.
that.
Yeah, we
because
need
like
more of that.
like I just don't like. I don't want to be like one of those guys that's just like, oh, like here's a beat, like I don't care about you, you don't care about me, like. So
Yeah.
For me, it's more like a networking thing and but I've definitely encountered people who are just like I had a guy just the other day who like I hit him up and I was like, bro, like I love your music, like hit me up if you want beats like for the low, like I'll give you beats for like a 50% discount, like I'll give you like let's work together. And he was like, he hit me back and he was like, man, like you in my DMs asking me for a beat and you asking me to like give me a beat. He's like, and you want to charge me? He's like, nah, bro. He's like, if you in my DMs, like you're giving me
Oh my God.
free. And I'm like,
that's not realistic at all.
Yeah,
That's not how the industry works. Like
yeah. So I was just like, at that point, like I just didn't respond to him, and I was like, all right, then
even
like
the 50%
that's
discount.
not somebody who I want to work
Yeah.
with.
Ew.
But yeah, no, there's definitely people out there. I mean, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
But like some people don't care, and I'm just not one of those people. Like I just want to have a relationship with the artist and stuff because I like releasing my own stuff too. So like having like a relationship with artists, then I can get them to hop on like, my experimental beats for like my projects and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
That's like essentially what, my project on Spotify is like a bunch of my beats around like a theme. And I just got the boys that like I was messing with to hop on them and they were willing to do them, just because like it's a network for us.
What's the name of your project?
It's called Elderworld.
Right.
It's actually it's pretty dope concept. It's like it's a bunch of Pierre beats, but they're like old video game stuff. Basically like I made like a video game in my head, and then like the album is like So the beats are like supposed to be the soundtrack of the album, and then the guys are just rapping on the beats.
Nice.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That'd be
So
dope.
it's
Sounds
pretty
dope.
dope. Yeah, it's pretty dope. Some of them did some numbers too, but I stopped promoting it a while ago because I was just trying to focus more on getting beats out and stuff like that.
Nice. Do you want to do that some more going forward?
Yeah, definitely. I got another thing too that like artists like as well, kind of branching off of this, is like they use my profile as well to like get more songs out than they want to release on theirs. You know, so like if I send them like, let's say like, because like Real AF is a good example of this. Like I sent him like, I sent him so many beats, but like he's probably got like 50 of my beats, right? He wants to work on like 8 of them for like his next couple of projects, and then the ones that all fit in one vibe that he doesn't want on his projects but he still wants to work on, you know, like we're doing like a joint EP and we're dropping it on mine.
That's
So
that's really cool.
Yeah. So like that way it's not, you know, overpopulating his Spotify page, but it also gives people like a more, you know, like another sound for them to listen to him in, and it also like helps me get like my beats out there and stuff like that. So I'm doing that with him, and I'm doing it with Hyde Taylor as well this year.
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very smart concept.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's been really good to see people like yourself and other people we've made connections with who are trying to get away from like the crabs in the barrel mentality. Like, you know, we can help each other climb instead of, oh, if I can't make the top, I'm gonna pull you down.
Definitely.
Because there's too many people like that.
Yeah,
you know?
a lot.
Yeah, because I mean, like you see too many times, like if you think about it, like producers have like the wrong mindset. Like I send placements out to big artists, but like when I click send, like realistically, I'm like, all right, like I'm basically like chalking this up as a loss, like until it comes back. You know, like I'm not expecting anything, because like you see like all the big producers, like a lot of the guys I just named, like they come up with artists that, you know, they come up with together. It's not like they're people getting placements. Like Kanye had Jay-Z, Metro had 21, Pierre had Cardi. So like, you know, you got to find somebody like that and like come up with them, because if you're just expecting to like keep sending out placements and stuff, then like it's not gonna work. Or it could, but like it's very rare.
Yeah. Frankie kind of already asked this, but like, how do people normally react like when you tell them you're trying to start off in the music industry? Is it more like, oh, that's really hard, or are they like supportive, excited for you normally?
It's funny because like a lot of my like high school friends, especially, and like and even my college friends, like for a while they and like some of them still haven't taken me seriously, but like for a while a lot of them didn't really take me seriously. Like, oh, like yeah, like oh cool, like he's making beats, like whatever. And then like they started hearing my beats, and they're like, oh, like this is actually pretty sick. Like, you know, I could hear this being, you know, rapped to by like anybody, and stuff like that. But it's pretty, like I don't know if that's kind of answering your question or not, but like it's like it's very interesting because, you know, like they, again, like I wasn't somebody that you would expect to do this kind of stuff. So like when I first told them, they're all like, oh, okay, like this is like almost like this is kind of like a phase kind of deal.
Right.
And then after a while, I think they saw it. And but even now, like a lot of them, like when I reach out to them and stuff like that, they're not very responsive. It's only until like after the fact when they hear stuff, or like they're like, oh, like let me hear a beat. Then it's like, you know, but you know, we'll
fire.
see.
Oh,
like we'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting. Like if I do go somewhere,
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they react. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Literally.
it's definitely coming. You're on your next
I
stop.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's more like we're bombarded with, well, because of social media. I mean, a lot of people are making music, so you kind of scroll through.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
so many
It's like
people.
it's the hot thing to do right now in the sense of
yeah,
like,
Definitely.
because it's so easy to get it's like so
Right.
easy to get equipment and it's so easy to learn how to produce and stuff. Like
Mhm.
relatively speaking, it's still pretty hard, but you know, if you put your head down, you can learn like the basics of producing in like a month or two, and then it basically just starts becoming like subjective style and stuff.
Right.
And that's why like so many people, and also like you can get rich so fast doing it. That's why I think a lot of people want to do it too,
True.
Yeah.
because they see
Definitely.
that. But, but yeah, I mean that's not like none of those are the reasons why I do it. That's why I'm like not that pressed in terms of like seeing where it goes. You see a lot of people like talking like big game. They're like, like they're all like,
Mhm.
oh, you have to have that mentality of like, you gotta say you're gonna get signed, like unless you're not gonna get signed. And then
Yeah.
like and
That
like you gotta like go
manifesting
around,
portion.
you like gotta go around and tell everybody that like you're the best
Manifesting that.
producer. And I'm just like, and I'll do that sometimes, but like for the most part, I'm just like, yeah, like I make beats. Some artists like them, they rap on them, and if it takes me somewhere, cool. If not,
Yeah.
I'll make some money in the process. But
Mhm.
I know you said that you're studying business. So do you have like any like set thing that you want to do with that degree aside from music?
I mean, like it's gonna basically be something that has to do with like stocks, stock
Yeah.
market or like
Mhm.
personal wealth stuff like that.
Yeah.
I haven't fully decided yet exactly what's gonna be, but I know that barring anything crazy in my music career, the more probable path in my life is gonna be like that's gonna be my
Yeah.
main job, and then on the side I'll probably make beats and sell them. But that's kind of what I'm thinking about.
Cool. That's smart.
So here, can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Sure. I know we've been
Um,
asking like all the questions, all the hard ones. Yeah.
so yeah, so I mean, you guys probably haven't heard many of my beats, and if you have, you probably don't even know which ones you've heard. But like, do you know, like, Sam, you were on the live the other day, what's probably like your favorite beat that you've heard from me?
Um,
And if you don't have an answer, it's okay, because like you guys probably have heard
I
between
feel
the
like
three of you, you probably heard like four of
I
my beats.
I screenshotted your video and I meant to send it to them, so I didn't even send it to them. But like, I think the Kanye sample, that was the main one, and then the other one you played, I guess, for like your two friends. I don't know what the name of it was, but
Oh yeah. I think I know who you're talking.
I
Yeah,
think you played some from like the joint project from Real. Yeah, but those two or three beats, those are my favorite.
yeah, bro. I always snap different when it's with Real AF. It's just him and
Yeah,
we got that chemistry.
The connect
definitely.
for real.
Yeah.
If did you produce North Carolina, the song North Carolina by him?
Man, everybody asks me that, and it's such a sad answer when I say no.
Oh.
Nah, I did not. But the guy who produced it is actually the same guy who shot the video. He's like super talented.
Rob Silver.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wow.
Rob is talented.
very talented. Um, it's so funny too, yo, because when I first heard that beat, the first thing that came out of my mouth after Andre recorded on it was I was like when the album dropped, I was like, damn, bro, I wish that was my beat. That was the first thing I said. I was like, I wish that was my beat. Because I knew it from the get-go. I was like, that song's gonna be different. But I was actually only on his last project once. It was Big Bean was the only beat of mine that was on there.
Okay.
But him and I have like a bunch of unreleased stuff and a bunch of stuff that's coming soon. And then if you go back to his project before Melancholy Dreams, that one.
Yeah.
I produced, I want to say half of that, and I engineered the entire thing.
All right.
No,
Get them
good
credits,
job.
bruh.
Mm.
Right.
Mhm.
But that was
Fire.
before those. I think most of those were recorded at home. So um, once he got into a studio, I stepped back from the engineering just because the engineer that he works with is insane. So
Eternal Sounds, right?
yeah, he's so good. I went one time in the studio. It was actually when he recorded North Carolina, and I was just in awe because like Eternal was just like so quick with it and stuff. But yeah, not so. I don't really engineer his stuff as much anymore because he's elevated himself past my engineering abilities at this
Yeah.
point.
I feel you.
So he's in better hands now. But I engineer for other people on the side as well.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, someone like me, I have no idea what the difference between producing and engineering is. So can you please kind of explain the
Break it down for her.
difference?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So the way I explain it to like my family members who don't really listen to music is like when you think of a song, right? So like take any song. I usually take like a Post Malone song because like they like pop music and stuff. But like there's like I say there's like 3 stages to a song. There's the production stage where that's like the main architect for a building, kind of like the blueprint. So like you come up with like the sounds, you come up with like the vibe in the sense of like the tempo and stuff like that, and the overall arc of the song. And then there's a second stage, which is like recording. So that's like writing. That's where the artist gets to put their voice on the beat, and like really make it into a song. And then the third stage is like engineering, which has like a lot of smaller stages in it, but it's mainly like first you mix the vocals so that they fit with the beat and everything, and then you master the entire track together. That includes like leveling and engineering it so that nothing's too overpowering, and you're adding in like little extra details here and there to accentuate different things. And then once you do that, then there's like the final mastering and leveling where you're just bringing it up to make sure that everything is up to the right dB levels to not be too loud or too low when you like submit it to platforms and stuff. But yeah, that's basically like so engineering is like the difference between like producing is like I start from scratch and I make a beat. That's like producing. And then engineering is like the track's like already done, like it might not even be produced by me. And the artist is like, yo, like I recorded this and I want you to get it ready for like release. So then like they'll send me like all their different recordings and all their different tracks, and then they'll send me the beat, and then I'll just go in and I'll do things, and they'll be like, yo, I want you to cut the beat here, or I want you to like add reverb here and stuff like that. So like all of those things are all like engineering.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, no, that breakdown helped a lot. Yeah.
It's like baking a cake and then putting the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the most, in my opinion, even as a producer, like it's the most important step, because like the one thing I've noticed, and especially like you can take Real AF and I's like careers as like an example of this, is that like, and him and I say this to each other all the time, like it's not that our old stuff was bad. Like we don't think that, like even though he has made progress as a rapper and like an artist and stuff, it's not that he's made that much progress to the point where people who weren't paying attention to him before are now paying attention to him now because of that. Like he was always very talented. The difference that in his example that has changed is, we just got a better engineer. Like it just sounds more professional. So like you can have tons of great tracks that never sound great because they're not engineered well. Even if it's like a great artist and a great beat, if you don't engineer it well, like it's gonna sound like trash and nobody's gonna like it.
Right.
So that's why I always say like engineering and sound engineers especially get like the highest praise in my opinion, because that's like the hardest job.
Yeah. Did we already ask you how you learned how to produce beats, or just kind of natural? Just came natural.
Nah, you guys didn't, but it's an interesting answer. So it was like a painful process of trial and error in YouTube videos, essentially. Basically, so the way I started producing at first, I used, like I said earlier, I used Audition, and that was where I first learned. And like Audition is like a horrible thing to try to produce beats on, because like it's just, it's not even made for that. Like it was all I had that was free, so I was just like, all right, this is what I'm gonna roll with. And then I upgraded after watching some YouTube videos, and I decided I wanted to use FL, mainly just because Metro used it, and I was like, all right, if it's good enough for Metro, it's good enough for me.
Yeah.
I had no idea how many other guys used it, but I was just like, all right, if Metro uses it, that's cool. So I upgraded to that, but I only had the free version. And like the biggest pet peeve of the free version is that you can't save files. You can't save sessions.
Yeah.
Oh.
So like if you try to make a beat and then like you want to go back and fix it later, you can't. Like it's just, you have to do it from scratch again. So what I started doing early on in my career, before I understood like tuning of 808s and stuff, was I used to make like just drum patterns. Like no loops, no melodies, nothing. Just drum patterns, and I'd save the drum patterns. And then I had like a catalog of drum patterns. So then when I found like a melody that I liked from another producer or like online, I could like match it to a drum loop that I made. And like, so that's how I first started producing. And then I got to the point where I was like, okay, like you got to do better, because like the 808s are out of tune and stuff like that. So I upgraded to FL. And then from there, it was just completely. That's my mom. I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so from there, I upgraded to FL Studio full, and that's where I really like started to like grind. Like I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and I learned about, you know, like 808 theories and stuff like that, and how to get your 808s in tune and all that. And that's kind of where I've been since now, is doing that. And this year, like the main gripe against me is like I usually don't make a lot of my own loops. Like it's usually other producers that are doing the melodies. That's why everybody likes my drums, because like I pay the most attention to drums. But this year I'm trying to learn how to make my own loops, and I'm trying to learn how to make my own melodies, so I can be like more self-sufficient as a producer. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. It takes a while from the get-go, but it's kind of like, I don't know if any of y'all snowboard or skateboard, but it's kind of like that. Like you fall a lot in the beginning, and then once you get past that stage where you can stand on a skateboard or on a snowboard, then it's like pretty quick. Like you get better really fast.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you never touched GarageBand though?
And nah, GarageBand like was never intuitive to me, even as a kid. Like I try to go on there and mess around with it and stuff, but the melodies I used to make and everything was just like it just like sounded bad to me. And so like so I just, but it's a great software. It's just not for me. Like I like FL so much better. I hope y'all can edit out that part of my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah, all the all like the pauses like of us thinking to ourselves
Yeah.
gets edited too.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's why I wasn't too pressed when she like came over. I was just like,
Yeah. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
So I guess what is your most important thing I guess you're looking forward to in 2021, like your biggest goal besides placement? I mean, like, do you want to do another album like the one you did before, or do you want to exclusively produce somebody's full album or something like that?
Definitely. So the second one you said is probably the one I'd choose as like my biggest goal, because I just think that like I've always been told by the people who work with me, artists and stuff, that I'm like way too creative to just be a producer.
Mhm.
And I like the concept of like exclusively producing a project for someone, or even like being in like control of like picking the other producers on the project is something that's like really interesting to me, because it allows me to get like my creative direction as well in there.
Mhm.
So that's actually low key kind of what we're doing with the collab between Real AF and the other rapper. So like all the sample beats, it's me and this one other producer that I'm boys with, that like has no placements, doesn't even have a tag. He just produces for a hobby, but he's like really good at making like classic boom bap, like sampled type beats.
Mhm.
So like him and I have been, you know, really creatively pushing the direction of the beats on that album to exactly what they want. So I'd say that's definitely like what I'm interested in for this year. I'd like to do it with more albums.
So like A&R.
Yeah, just because like
Yeah.
then like you can get like super dope like, you know, beat transitions in and stuff like that when you're more, you know, in control of like all the beats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Feel you.
That's super dope. I know you said you fell off from Drake, but that's what his producer 40 used to do.
Yeah.
He had all
Yeah.
the same thing. You know?
Yeah, no, it's no bad love against Drake. I just think that like
That was off. I feel you.
like
Yeah.
his old stuff was just, you know, better.
Yeah.
After nothing was the same, man. Nothing was
I
the
feel
same.
you.
That was the
That was
same.
the nothing
Hey, yo.
the pun. Hey. Yeah, 2013, 2014. Those are the years.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, and Real and I have gone back on it many times because he's a huge Drake guy. Like I'm sure you guys know. So you know, him and I have gotten into our nice debates about it. But yeah, I mean, he's good, bro, and his stuff hasn't gotten worse in my opinion. It's just changed
Yeah.
from my style of
Yeah.
what I liked from him. So like he dropped oh, what was that one song he dropped with Young Thug and Future? It's called like DSL or something like that.
I think so. Yeah, DSL.
Yeah,
It was
that
on
one,
the demo tapes. Or?
yeah. Like that one was the
That was a
first
dope
one I
project.
heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the first one I heard from him in like a while. That I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting because it was just like a bunch of like leaked like SoundCloud songs that were like on his SoundCloud. So I think it was dope.
Yep.
What's your favorite Drake song?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a hard question. I would probably say you know, I think I'm gonna say Over, and that's only
Over?
because
Okay.
I think that it's only because like
That's a
I
good
feel like
one.
that's, you know, it's kind of a cop out answer, but that's only because it's the first Drake song I heard like ever. Like that
Okay.
was how I
Yeah.
met Drake. So I was like yeah, like that.
That's an
That's
amazing.
dope.
That's
That's a
a good
great first
choice.
song to hear. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I messed with him hella back when he was like part of Cash Money and
Yeah.
all that stuff, and then he branched out to his own stuff, and
Blue
especially like
Sound.
when he went to like R&B, that's kind of when he lost me a little
Yeah.
bit.
Oh, okay.
But like I feel like that just like reflects my producing style. Like I favor more up tempo stuff. Like if it's gonna be slow like that,
Okay.
it's got to be kind of like a boom bap like Real and I call them like real spitter tracks, like
Mm.
where you're just like you're
Mhm.
just spitting on the beat.
Yeah.
Like R&B to me has never been like something that I like to listen to, just because like if I'm gonna listen to R&B, I'd much rather listen to like a Joey Badass or like a Mac Miller kind of,
Okay.
where it's more like, cause yeah, I don't know, like this might sound weird, but like
Yeah.
R&B is just like a little too sexual for me to listen to. Like
I got you. Yeah.
yeah,
It's that's a pretty yeah.
it's got like a specific vibe that
Yeah.
it's good for that, but
Yeah.
I just said that.
But yeah, Mac definitely he's another artist that has like a big discography. It was great. Even his transition from like rapping to singing, like
yeah, I respect him and Tyler like completely differently because they make a lot of their own stuff. Like they're completely self-sufficient.
yeah.
And they're just like their career arcs were like so dope. Like especially like when you think about Mac and Tyler, how like they first started as like Mac started out as like a frat rapper,
Exactly. Yeah.
and like and Tyler started out as like I don't even know what to call like pastor and stuff like that. Like it was just
Yeah.
Yeah.
super different. But yeah, their career arcs are super dope.
Is there any my bad? Is there any producer? Is there any producer that you would like to emulate, like as far as like career?
In terms of like a career, I think, man, like I'd probably either say Metro or give me one sec. Sorry. So I'll like re-answer the question. So I would probably say probably like Metro. Like I really like the way that he attacks his beats and stuff. Like they're super unique and like very multi-layered, and also the way he attacked his career in the sense that like he started out making stuff that necessarily wasn't what he wanted to make, but that he knew fit the artist that he was working with, so that he could blow up. And then once he blew up, like then he started getting to experimenting and stuff. So like that's something I could definitely see myself doing, is fitting like the needs of people that I work with, and then once like if I get there, then like then we can like mess around and like do new stuff and really like bring out creativity.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Nice.
Do you ever find it difficult with like oh man, what was I saying? Do you ever find it difficult kind of when it comes to the beats that like you're producing, that you might like versus like the artists that you're working with? Like, do you ever find it like difficult to find the balance? I don't even know if I'm making sense. What am I trying to say?
Are you like asking me if like if I ever make a beat that I like but then the artist doesn't like how do I react to that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's tough, man. sometimes it's hard to not get hurt by it, especially if you make the beat specifically for the artist. But I would say usually what I do is like a lot of artists, they'll give me a certain response on a beat now, and then they'll listen to it again 3 weeks later and they'll have a completely different point of view on it. So I don't take it to heart usually, unless I'm like really married to the beat. But usually what I do is like I'll just say like, all right, like if you don't like the beat, I'll like catalog it, and if you change your mind, then like it's yours, and if not, then just know like it might go somewhere else. But that's usually how I handle it. I try not to get too emotionally attached, but it's hard. I've had a bunch of beats that like I've specifically like sent to people. I'm like, you're gonna love this, and they're like, yeah, like it's not bad. And I'm like, damn. But, it happens because you expect sometimes that you know what they want, but if they're going for a different sound, then
I think that's a great like point about creatives in general, like whether you make beats or like you shoot music videos or movies or whatever. Like I guess like it's our job to take criticism and everything, of course, but it's just like, I mean, that is like a part of you, like your
exactly.
work. Yeah.
Definitely.
So
it's easy to take it personal.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard to. I think it's harder for artists. Like that's why I always try not to get too upset with my beats, because like it takes me like I said earlier, like anywhere between like 15 to 20 minutes to like sometimes like 2 hours to make a beat. Like that's not a lot of my life. But like for an artist, they're writing the lyrics, then they gotta record, they gotta pay money for the studio, and they gotta buy the beat and stuff. And then for somebody to tell them like, yeah, no, I'm not messing with it after all that, like that's definitely like way more, because like when you put vocals on something and you're trying to tell a story, it's like I feel like it's a bigger piece of you.
For sure.
Did we lose the?
No, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Zoom on the phone, it's like
Wow. I just want to say thank you for appearing, like
being our first guest. You set the bar high.
Being in the hot seat. Definitely set the bar high.
I really appreciate that, you guys. It was a lot of fun being on here. This was the first one of these I've done, so
this
was very fun.
First of many.
Yes.
We're definitely gonna have to have you back on.
I'd love to.
Maybe when Real AF comes on.
Yeah. Him and I would love to do probably a double or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no, anytime you guys want to have me, I'm want to come on, and even if you want me as like you want to talk about stuff other than just me, we can do that too.
Hey,
I don't generally like to talk about myself that much.
Guest co-host, like, hey, say less.
Yeah. Oh my God. Guest. Yeah.
Yeah, because I generally don't like to talk about myself that much, but So it was definitely a pleasure. I loved being on with you guys, and hopefully we can do it again soon.
Definitely.
Of course. Appreciate it.
I'm Sam, also known as Sam the Seuss.
Zino Lion.
Frankie, aka Frankie Sass Master.
And I'm Young Gelo. You guys can check me out on all platforms. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Catch us next week.
Yep.
The Creators Club podcast.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So yeah.